Yes, we'll talk already about the decision arena, go into some more details of it in this presentation. So the origin of this, it was actually a core item in the application. It was a core item in the original application as well. Starting out with what I now call the fate of the one true expert. In one paper draft, we refer to it as the death of the one true expert, which is not really appreciated. So we changed that to the fate, but obviously a nicer concept to sort of digest. Based on several things ongoing, like since long the concurrent engineering, also the increasing product complexity due to technology development and so on, and not the least the transition towards product service systems, meaning that the sort of knowledge base is so wide that you can't really cram that into one single person anymore, that you need a team that is cross-functional to be able to do to take better decisions, essentially. So by encompassing a broader representational knowledge and values, we will have improved this decision capabilities. So this is the challenge. Our response is then a model-driven environment for collaborative decision-making, which we refer to as decision arena, which is a physical location where people from different domains or different parts of a company can meet and sort of assess problems based on data from digital models, simulation data, product data collected in the field, and so on. And to help that, not only the physical location that we sort of co-located staff, we have visualizations and data analysis and so on.
Jag heter Johan och jobbar som forskare i produktutveckling på Blekinge Tekniska högskola. Som en del av ett forskningsprojekt bygger vi nu upp en visualiseringsmiljö där en grupp beslutsfattare ska kunna samlas för att interagera och visualisera simuleringsdata. Rico har hjälpt oss att ta fram ett hårdvarukoncept med en videovägg och en touchscreen. Vi försöker skapa en miljö där man kan visualisera olika typer av data och som också inbjuder till interaktion bland mötesdeltagarna. Målet med vår forskning är att förändra och förbättra hur produktutveckling sker i industrin. Och vi tror att den här tekniken tillsammans med den visualiseringsmiljö vi utvecklar kan hjälpa oss med det.
It gives a good overview of sort of the physical location with a big video wall for sort of displaying different types of information is also a big multi-point touch screen where all the users are able to interact with models and visualizations in the room. So it gives you sort of a feeling of the physical location itself. That was the point of the video. The decision arena is not just the physical space that we saw in the video, although the infrastructure and the hardware located in the room is important, obviously. It's sort of puts boundaries on how you interact with each other, what you're able to do and so on. But that's one part. It's sort of a blended space with physical and digital blends together and form something that is greater than the individual parts. The digital space then contains the infrastructure of the simulations, models and structures itself. It sort of also includes the simulation models that are used for a specific case and so on. And these two together makes up the decision arena. So the decision arena is not just a room, it's also the digital space, which is usually important to remember. Looking at the digital space of the decision arena, it has evolved through a new number of case studies from different partner companies in the project. And
if you remember my first slide in my previous presentation, I sort of said that the nature of development is an iterative procedure. This is also a development project, which is an iterative procedure, meaning that we start with one application, trying to come up with sort of a generic approach how to solve that. Take on the next problem and see, okay, we need to adjust it some way to fit also this problem into this generic procedure. So the iterative development through these different case studies has enabled us to come up with a more generic approach, which sort of encompass all these different applications, which are pretty wide, ranging from Tetra Pak to JKM, for example, is just looking at the end product, so it's sort of quite far from each other. But the structure and the procedures are exactly the same. So if you want to schematically show it, you have a design problem, which could be either one of the previous four or an additional new one. Where we design the design space, we have functional models, we have cost models. These two moves into value, which both Marco and Carl talked about before, and then we present possible solutions to that in the room. So that's sort of the core evaluation process. The structure then to enable this is some sort of a server application. In this case, it's a Microsoft Excel application that communicates with different modules for enabling evaluation of function, cost, and value, and so on. So we have these modules, function, cost, and value. We have to enable this cross-functional negotiation. We have data analysis and visualization, sort of to make everybody in the room understand what's going on. And finally, we also have a model maturity thing, which enables trust in the decision scenarios, essentially. So this is a fixed structure. Depending on what type of problem you're looking at, you sort of just change the models itself. Like a jigsaw puzzle, you move the Tetra Pak bit and you put in the Dynapack bit, for example. The infrastructure or the communication protocols are set. The simulation procedures are set. You just change sort of the problem definition. Ending up with some sort of exploration scheme. We use a design of experiment type of exploration schemes where you set up your variable, design the experiments, you run experiments. If simulation runs along, maybe you do that beforehand and just present data in the decision meeting. The analysis of the data, the visualization of the data, and so on, to make a decision. Those type of visualizations can look numerous different ways. This is an exploration scheme where we have some, I think 100 decision possible variants of a product, and we present those in different aspects and in ways that are sort of understandable for all participants in the meeting, and then you make a decision based on that. So that's the essence of the decision arena. So where do we go from here? Started out, I found this picture, Pontus, from late 2016 when we met up in the first sort of prototype of the decision arena. To make some sort of evaluation. That's 6 years ago. That first prototype of the idea itself, just testing it out. Then from that emerged the decision arena that we have today, which has been successful. And as Tobias said, we are now on the path towards a new generation of the decision arena. Which I think you will discuss more also in a separate presentation. But that's over those
6 years then, maybe we are ending up from starting out with this very, very simple prototype of an idea to an immersive experience for the users that are used for much, much more than making decision in the product development process. So it's been an interesting journey on the concept of the decision arena.